Hello, just going to do a quick video on my thoughts on CES 2024. There's a few things that stood out. Some of the stuff is just kind of, well, same as last year. And there's a couple of things which interested me a lot. Two of which I'll leave a link for because I thought they were really quite smart. The basic ones, a few cases, nothing that really jumps out at me. They all look like Lee and Lee's case and this case in different variations. There's not much difference there. A lot of the companies now seem to be having their own fans. Well, obviously Lee and Lee was the first one. Then you got like Fantex and such. Everyone's doing this whole magnetic clip together. So if you don't like Lee and Lee's for whatever reason, or you don't like the software, if the software interferes with other things you have on your computer, there's going to be a few of the brands out there who have their own version of basically rip-off Lee and Lee fans. The other ones which I noticed was the ATX 3.1 PSUs have been shown off. Basically it's the ATX 3, but the actual connector for the PSU and the cable will be slightly different to the one that we already have. I think it's like the pin layout. There's nothing majorly different, it's just a slight change to the pin layout. Supposedly adds more safeguards to it. The SSDs, the SSD Gen 5, I don't think you need one for gaming at all. But if you're into rendering and you've got workload and such, yes, they're going to be, obviously they're already out now, but the future ones are going to be even better. But the only downside to them is most of them are coming up warm. And at CES, you've seen a lot of these coolers which go onto the back of your SSD. So I think if you are going to move to the Gen 5, be prepared to be having one of these big coolers sat on top of it. But again, for gaming, I really don't see the need to be buying something like that. Gen 4's more than enough, really. But if you've got the money to burn, yeah, so be it. The one thing which I will be interested in buying, I don't know all the details on it yet. Deepcool have done the Mystique. There's a 420 and there's a 360. The 420 comes with an LCD screen, which looks like you can have GIFs and whatever else on it. The 360 comes with a screen. I don't know about GIFs, but there's temperatures and other such things that's going to be on it. It looks rather nice, and that's probably the one I'll be going for. And it's probably not going to be too far away. I would say probably the next 1-2 months, that's going to hit the market, that one I would have thought. So I'll be replacing this one. The only thing I don't know about it is it software driven or they're still relying on BIOS? I'm hoping they've gone the way of software, finally, Deepcool, because the actual AIOs have been great for me. I would just like some software so I don't have to keep going into the BIOS to alter it. Yes, I know you can get different things out there to mess around with it, but I want them to do their own thing. The other thing which caught my eye, which I would like, I'll put a link to it. It was on an MSI case, but it doesn't belong to MSI. They were just showing it off. There's like a thin film wraparound. You can put it inside your case, the glass side, on the inside, wraps around if you need it to. It's not completely blocking off what's inside. It's still opaque. You can still see inside it. You can see your parts and everything else like that. But on the outside, it's like a display screen. You can have GIFs and other such things running on it. And it is really, really smart. No idea what kind of price they're going to charge for something like that. Don't even know if it's going to hit the mainstream market or whether it's just one of these prototypes that's going to get shown off and then some other big company will buy them out so they can actually hit the market. I don't know. That one could be a while away. We'll have to wait and see. But I'll leave a link to that one being shown off because that was very smart. That was really nice. Probably the biggest thing that was being shown off is the motherboards, the backwards facing, as it were. All your connections are on the back of your motherboard. The thing with that is you'll need certain cases to be able to get to the back of your components of your motherboard. So you might have to buy a certain case to go along with these new motherboards which are coming out. Also, on your GPU, if you want it to be fully compatible the way they want it, you'd have to buy the GPU that actually has the connection And the connection for it, it looks like the actual PCI slot that you have on your GPU, which is normally about, say, about that long. There's a one further along, and it's about that long, and it sits beside it. So when you plug it into the motherboard, you have it slots into the PCI slot, and there's like a little mini one there, and it'll slot into there. And supposedly, that one that slots into there can deal 600 watts and run your 4090s and probably the 5090s as well. Well, you would hope so. I don't know if that's great because it gets around the whole cable kind of situation. I don't know what kind of cable would then go into your motherboard. With it going into your motherboard, the extra power, where is it taking the power from? Is it taking it from extra up here, or is it you're having to put your 16 pin into the back of the motherboard? And I'm not sure on the whole thing of where it draws it from. The only thing which I have concern over there is that if it's going from your PSU to your back of your motherboard and then from your motherboard through there, like what we had with the the cable mod adapters, is the more points that you put in that chain, the more issues you might have. Now, I'm sure they know a hell of a lot more than I ever will, and that's the reason why they've gone this way. It might be that this is the way of the future, and that's going to be the best thing to do, and just get rid of all those kind of cables that go into your GPU. You just have everything going into your motherboard. I'm not entirely sure, say, the whole idea behind that, whether you're going to need more inductors or capacitors on your motherboard to deal with the extra power coming through as well. Does that mean, obviously the prices on these kind of motherboards are going to be fairly astronomical, I would have thought, but it could just be the way of the future that you no longer have this. Then again, some people like the cables on show if you have different colored cables. Some people take that as part of the actual aesthetics and the look of it, especially if you have the light up ones. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but I don't want to be skeptical and say it's not great or I wouldn't do that, because it could be the thing of the future. It certainly looks a lot neater with not having any cables on the front, but we'll have to wait and see. Plus you're having to buy the case and the motherboard and the GPU that actually has the right connection thing on it as well. So I'll have to wait and see. So yeah, the wrap I'm very interested in. The Mystique Deepcool 360, definitely interested in. The SSDs which are coming out that of no use to me. It's too much heat and overkill for what I want. The fans I already have. The case, I'm settling for this one at the moment. There's nothing that's leaping out at me saying buy me. And the GPUs that are being shown off were basically just the custom variants of what we've already got now. But again, it's too late to the game for that kind of thing. The 5090s will be here before you get your money's worth out of your 4090 if you're to buy one of those ones now, unless you're obviously loaded, in which case help yourself. Yeah, so that was about it. It was a fairly run-of-the-mill CES, nothing that really leapt out at me. Again, monitors, mice, keyboards, anything along those lines. It was just another step forward, but just a small increment onto what we've already seen. There was nothing that wowed me. The funniest thing about it all is that actual film that goes around there wowed me more than anything else that's on show. That was probably a lot more expensive than that film. So, but anyway, I'll put the link to the Deepcool Mystique, the one I like, and for the wrap thing, and you'll be able to see what they look like. Okay, bye.